Ready to transform your life? This audiobook unveils the hidden power of your mind, showing you how embracing discomfort, managing time, and mastering your habits unlocks your fullest potential. Listen and discover how to shape your reality with the power of intentional growth. Introduction. What if the key to unlocking your fullest potential has been inside you all along, just waiting for you to tap into it? What if you could step into a future where you're no longer held back by fear, self-doubt, or the limitations you once believed were impossible to overcome? This audiobook is more than just a collection of strategies. It's a powerful blueprint for transforming your mindset, conquering your goals, and creating the life you've always desired. Think about it. Every great success story starts with a simple shift in perspective. The truth is, your mind holds the power to shape your reality in ways you've never imagined. But most of us aren't taught how to tap into this power. We're caught in a cycle of uncertainty, overwhelmed by distractions, and unsure how to break free. But that stops now. In this audiobook, you'll learn the science-backed psychological principles that have helped thousands of people just like you break through mental barriers and achieve things they once thought were out of reach. Whether you're striving for professional success, personal fulfillment, or just looking to become the best version of yourself, this audiobook will guide you step by step. You'll discover the art of critical thinking, how to master your emotions, and how to design your life with intentionality. With each chapter, you'll unlock the mindset shifts and actionable strategies that will fuel your personal growth and propel you toward the life you truly deserve. But here's the catch. This journey isn't just about learning new techniques. It's about changing the way you think. It's about challenging your old beliefs and stepping into a new realm of possibility. You'll discover how to embrace discomfort, master your time, and build habits that don't just get you through the day, but actually move you toward your grandest vision. So, if you're ready to stop playing small, to break free from the doubts that hold you back, and to step into a life of true growth and unlimited potential, this audiobook is for you. Your future self is waiting for you to take action, and it all starts with this moment. Press play, and let's begin the journey to transforming your life from the inside out. Chapter 1. The Power of Critical Thinking. Welcome to the beginning of a transformative journey into the world of critical thinking. In this chapter, we'll explore the essence of critical thinking and why it is a cornerstone for personal growth, effective decision-making, and meaningful relationships. Together, we'll uncover how mastering this skill can empower you to navigate life's complexities with clarity, confidence, and purpose. What is critical thinking? Imagine standing at a crossroads, surrounded by a fog that obscures every direction. Each path holds potential, but without a guiding light, it's impossible to know which will lead you to success. Critical thinking is that guiding light, a mental compass that illuminates your options and helps you make informed decisions. At its core, critical thinking is the ability to evaluate information objectively, analyze its validity, and draw logical conclusions. It's not about being critical in the negative sense or simply pointing out flaws. Rather, it's a constructive process of questioning assumptions, seeking evidence, and weighing different perspectives to arrive at the most rational and beneficial outcomes. Critical thinking extends beyond solving puzzles or dissecting abstract problems. It's the everyday skill of asking the right questions. Is this information credible? Am I being influenced by bias or emotion? What are the potential consequences of my choices? When practiced consistently, critical thinking becomes a way of life, one that allows you to move through the world with clarity and conviction. Why critical thinking matters. The modern world is a flood of information, much of it contradictory or misleading. From social media debates to workplace challenges, we are constantly bombarded with decisions that require discernment. Critical thinking equips you to navigate this chaos, helping you separate fact from fiction and prioritize what truly matters. Consider this. Without critical thinking, decisions are often reactive, based on gut feelings or the influence of others. This approach may work occasionally, but it leaves you vulnerable to manipulation and poor judgment. Conversely, a critical thinker takes control of their decision-making process. They engage with information deeply, question its origins, and anticipate its implications. Critical thinking is also the foundation of creativity and innovation. By challenging the status quo and asking, "What if?" you open doors to new possibilities. It's what drives progress in science, art, and business. More importantly, it's what empowers you to grow as a person, adapting to change, overcoming obstacles, and pursuing your goals with unwavering focus. The transformative power of a critical thinking mindset. Mastering critical thinking is not just about learning techniques. It's about transforming your mindset. The journey begins with a shift in perspective, from passively accepting information to actively questioning and engaging with it. Here's what happens when you embrace a critical thinking mindset. 1. Improved self-awareness. You become more conscious of your own thoughts, biases, and motivations. This self-awareness is the first step toward meaningful personal growth. 2. Better relationships. By listening actively and evaluating situations objectively, you can approach conflicts with empathy and logic. This fosters trust and mutual respect. 3. Resilience in uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, but critical thinking helps you adapt by focusing on what you can control and making sound decisions in the face of ambiguity. Real transformation takes time and effort, but the rewards are worth it. Each step forward strengthens your ability to think independently, act decisively, and live authentically. How this chapter sets the stage. As we conclude this foundational chapter, let's reflect on the power of critical thinking as a tool for personal growth. You've begun to see how it illuminates the path ahead, helping you make better choices and live a more intentional life. In the chapters to come, we'll delve deeper into the traits of a critical thinker, the obstacles that hinder clear thinking, and the skills needed to master this art. Each step will bring you closer to transforming your mindset and unlocking your full potential. For now, take a moment to consider your relationship with critical thinking. When faced with a problem, do you rely on instinct, or do you take the time to analyze? Are you open to challenging your assumptions, or do you cling to familiar ideas? The answers to these questions are the starting point of your journey. As you move forward, remember this: critical thinking is not about perfection or certainty. It's about striving for clarity and making the best possible choices with the information available. It's about embracing complexity, staying curious, and committing to growth. Let this be the foundation upon which you build a life of purpose, integrity, and continual learning. The journey has just begun, and the best is yet to come. Are you ready to take the next step? Stay tuned for the next chapter, where we'll dive into the mindset for growth and uncover the traits that define a true critical thinker. What if the key to unlocking your fullest potential has been inside you all along, just waiting for you to tap into it? What if you could step into a future where you're no longer held back by fear, self-doubt, or the limitations you once believed were impossible to overcome? This audiobook is more than just a collection of strategies. It's a powerful blueprint for transforming your mindset, conquering your goals, and creating the life you've always desired. Think about it. Every great success story starts with a simple shift in perspective. The truth is, your mind holds the power to shape your reality in ways you've never imagined. But most of us aren't taught how to tap into this power. We're caught in a cycle of uncertainty, overwhelmed by distractions, and unsure how to break free. But that stops now. In this audiobook, you'll learn the science-backed psychological principles that have helped thousands of people just like you break through mental barriers and achieve things they once thought were out of reach. Whether you're striving for professional success, personal fulfillment, or just looking to become the best version of yourself, this audiobook will guide you step by step. You'll discover the art of critical thinking, how to master your emotions, and how to design your life with intentionality. With each chapter, you'll unlock the mindset shifts and actionable strategies that will fuel your personal growth and propel you toward the life you truly deserve. But here's the catch. This journey isn't just about learning new techniques. It's about changing the way you think. It's about challenging your old beliefs and stepping into a new realm of possibility. You'll discover how to embrace discomfort, master your time, and build habits that don't just get you through the day, but actually beat you towards your grandest vision. So if you're ready to stop playing small, to break free from the doubts that hold you back, and to step into a life of true growth and unlimited potential, this audiobook is for you. Your future self is waiting for you to take action, and it all starts with this moment. Press play, and let's begin the journey to transforming your life from the inside out. Chapter 2: The Foundation: Mindset for Growth. As we venture further into our exploration of critical thinking, we now turn to the fertile soil where it takes root: a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities, intelligence, and potential can be cultivated through effort, learning, and resilience. This mindset is not only the foundation of critical thinking, but also the fuel that keeps it thriving. Without it, even the most sophisticated techniques and tools of analysis remain stagnant. With it, every challenge becomes an opportunity, every failure a lesson, and every thought a step closer to mastery. The growth mindset, a cornerstone for critical thinking. To truly embrace critical thinking, you must first cultivate the mindset that supports it. Picture your mind as a garden. A fixed mindset plants shallow roots, resisting change and fearing challenges. It clings to the safety of what is known, avoiding discomfort or the risk of being wrong. In contrast, a growth mindset plants deep, adaptable roots that stretch toward new opportunities. It thrives on challenges, understanding that growth comes from venturing beyond what is comfortable. When it comes to critical thinking, a growth mindset is crucial because it creates the psychological safety needed to question assumptions, entertain new ideas, and admit when you're wrong. It's the difference between defending your beliefs at all costs and seeking the truth, even if it means changing your perspective. A growth mindset also fosters curiosity, the lifeblood of critical thinking, by viewing knowledge as an ever-expanding horizon rather than a finite destination. Adopting a growth mindset requires a deliberate shift in perspective. It means recognizing that your abilities are not fixed and that learning is a lifelong journey. It means embracing the discomfort of not knowing and replacing "I can't" with "I can't yet." Most importantly, it means seeing every mistake or failure as a stepping stone rather than a dead end. Traits of a critical thinker. Beyond intelligence. Contrary to popular belief, critical thinking is not solely the domain of intellectuals or academics. It is a skill accessible to everyone, regardless of their IQ or educational background. What sets critical thinkers apart is not their raw intelligence, but the mindset and habits they cultivate. Let's explore some of the defining traits of a critical thinker. 1. Curiosity. A critical thinker is driven by an insatiable desire to learn. They ask questions not to prove a point, but to deepen their understanding. This curiosity extends beyond surface-level answers, delving into the why and how of every situation. 2. Open-mindedness. Critical thinkers are willing to entertain ideas that challenge their beliefs. They approach differing perspectives with respect and genuine interest, even if they don't agree with them. This openness allows them to consider all possibilities before forming conclusions. 3. Resilience. Thinking critically often means confronting uncomfortable truths or admitting mistakes. Resilience enables a critical thinker to persevere through discomfort, uncertainty, and setbacks, emerging stronger and wiser on the other side. 4. Self-awareness. To think critically about the world, you must first think critically about yourself. Critical thinkers are acutely aware of their biases, limitations, and emotional influences. This self-awareness acts as a safeguard against rash judgments and faulty reasoning. 5. Adaptability. In a world that is constantly evolving, rigid thinking can be a liability. Critical thinkers are adaptable, willing to revise their opinions in light of new evidence or changing circumstances. They understand that flexibility is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of wisdom. Cultivating a growth-oriented mindset. How do you cultivate a growth mindset that supports critical thinking? The answer lies in intentional practice and self-reflection. Here are some strategies to help you build the mental habits of a critical thinker. 1. Challenge your assumptions. Start by questioning the beliefs you take for granted. Why do you believe what you believe? Is it based on evidence, or have you inherited these ideas from others? By challenging your assumptions, you create space for new insights and possibilities. 2. Seek discomfort growth. Rarely happens within the confines of your comfort zone. Make it a habit to expose yourself to new ideas, perspectives, and experiences. This could mean reading books outside your usual genres, engaging in respectful debates, or learning a skill that challenges you. 3. Practice delayed judgment. Resist the urge to form immediate conclusions. When faced with a new idea or problem, take the time to explore it thoroughly before deciding. This habit not only improves the quality of your thinking, but also prevents you from jumping to faulty conclusions. 4. Embrace feedback. Feedback, especially when it's constructive, is a powerful tool for growth. Instead of viewing criticism as a personal attack, see it as an opportunity to refine your thinking and actions. 5. Reflect regularly. Set aside time to reflect on your decisions, experiences, and learning. Ask yourself, what did I do well? What could I have done differently? What did I learn? Reflection deepens your self-awareness and reinforces the lessons you've gained. Real-life applications of a growth mindset. Let's bring these concepts to life with a few real-world examples. The student who failed forward. Imagine a student struggling with math. A fixed mindset would lead them to believe they're just not good at math and give up. A growth mindset, however, would encourage them to see their struggles as a stepping stone to improvement. By seeking help, practicing consistently, and learning from mistakes, they not only improve in math, but also develop resilience and confidence that spill over into other areas of their life. The leader who listened. Consider a manager faced with a team conflict. A fixed mindset might cause them to impose their own solution without fully understanding the issue. A growth mindset, on the other hand, would prompt them to listen to all sides, ask thoughtful questions, and remain open to solutions they hadn't considered. This approach not only resolves the conflict more effectively, but also builds trust and collaboration within the team, laying the foundation for lifelong growth. As we conclude this chapter, it's worth emphasizing that a growth mindset is not a destination, but a journey. It requires continuous effort, reflection, and practice. The good news is that every small step you take toward cultivating this mindset compounds over time, creating profound changes in how you think, learn, and live. A growth mindset empowers you to approach life with curiosity, resilience, and a willingness to learn. It transforms obstacles into opportunities and turns setbacks into stepping stones. Most importantly, it sets the stage for you to master the art of critical thinking, a skill that will serve you in every facet of your life. So, as you move forward, commit to embracing growth, challenging your limits, and thinking critically about the world around you. With each passing day, you'll find yourself growing stronger, wiser, and more confident in your ability to navigate life's complexities. Stay tuned for the next chapter, where we'll dive into the barriers that hinder critical thinking and how to overcome them. Together, we'll continue building the skills and mindset needed to unlock your full potential. Chapter 3: Overcoming Barriers to Clear Thinking. In our journey toward mastering critical thinking, it's essential to understand the obstacles that often stand in our way. These barriers are not just external forces, but also internal habits, biases, and tendencies that can cloud our judgment and impede clear thinking. To think critically, you must first recognize and confront these barriers, learning to navigate around them with purpose and self-awareness. In this chapter, we'll explore the most common challenges to critical thinking and provide actionable strategies to overcome them. The invisible enemy: cognitive biases. Let's start with one of the most pervasive barriers to clear thinking: cognitive biases. These are mental shortcuts or rules of thumb our brains use to process information quickly. While they can be helpful in certain situations, like making snap decisions in an emergency, they often lead us astray when deeper analysis is required. Imagine you're shopping for a product and read 2 reviews, one glowing and the other critical. If you instinctively trust the positive review because it aligns with your initial excitement about the product, you've fallen victim to confirmation bias, the tendency to favor information that supports your existing beliefs. Cognitive biases like this can prevent us from seeing the full picture and making informed decisions. Other common biases include anchoring bias, relying too heavily on the first piece of information you receive, even if it's irrelevant or misleading. Availability heuristic, overestimating the likelihood of events based on how easily examples come to mind, like fearing plane crashes after hearing about one on the news. Bandwagon effect, adopting beliefs or behaviors simply because they are popular, rather than critically evaluating their merit. Overcoming cognitive biases requires deliberate effort. Start by questioning your initial reactions to new information. Ask yourself, am I basing this decision on evidence or assumptions? Could my emotions or previous experiences be influencing my judgment? Have I considered alternative perspectives or sought out contrary evidence? Awareness is the first step. Once you're conscious of your biases, you can actively work to counteract them through critical reflection and disciplined thinking. The emotional fog, how feelings cloud judgment. Emotions are a natural and important part of the human experience, but they can also interfere with our ability to think critically. When you're angry, anxious, or even overly excited, your judgment can become skewed, leading to impulsive decisions or irrational conclusions. For example, imagine receiving critical feedback at work. If your immediate emotional reaction is defensiveness, you might dismiss the feedback without fully considering its validity. This emotional response can prevent you from learning and improving, even if the critique is constructive. The key to overcoming emotional barriers is emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions. Here's how you can develop it. 1. Pause and reflect. When you feel a strong emotional reaction, take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply and ask yourself what's driving your feelings. 2. Separate emotion from reason. Acknowledge your emotions without letting them dictate your decisions. For instance, if you're angry, recognize the anger but focus on the facts of the situation. 3. Practice empathy. Try to understand the emotions and perspectives of others. This can help you navigate conflicts and make more balanced judgments. By managing your emotions, you create the mental clarity needed to think critically and make thoughtful decisions. The social trap, groupthink, and conformity. Another significant barrier to clear thinking is the influence of social dynamics. As humans, we have an innate desire to belong, which can sometimes lead us to conform to group norms or suppress dissenting opinions. This phenomenon, known as groupthink, can stifle creativity and critical analysis, especially in team settings or communities with strong social hierarchies. Consider a workplace meeting where a dominant leader expresses a strong opinion. If no one else speaks up, not because they agree, but because they fear conflict or rejection, the group may make a flawed decision. The absence of critical voices limits the team's ability to evaluate all options and foresee potential pitfalls. To combat groupthink, adopt these strategies. Encourage diverse perspectives. Seek out and welcome differing opinions, even if they challenge your own. Diversity of thought enriches decision-making. Play devil's advocate. Assign someone in the group to deliberately question assumptions and propose alternative viewpoints. Create a safe environment. Foster a culture where people feel comfortable expressing dissent without fear of judgment or retaliation. Breaking free from the social trap requires courage and humility. It's not about being contrarian for the sake of it, but about ensuring that all voices are heard and all ideas are scrutinized. The overload dilemma. Information saturation. In today's digital age, we are constantly bombarded with information. While having access to knowledge is empowering, it can also be overwhelming. The sheer volume of data available often leads to information paralysis, the inability to make decisions because of too many options or conflicting inputs. Imagine researching a major purchase, like a new car. You might encounter hundreds of reviews, specifications, and opinions. Without a clear strategy to process this information, you may feel stuck, unable to determine which option is best. To overcome information overload, practice these techniques. 1. Define your goals. Before diving into research, clarify what you're looking for. This helps you filter out irrelevant information. 2. Evaluate sources. Focus on credible, high-quality sources that align with your goals. Be wary of sensationalism or biased content. 3. Set limits. Decide in advance how much time you'll spend gathering information and stick to it. Trust that you've done enough once you've covered the essentials. By approaching information with intentionality, you can regain control over your decision-making process and avoid being overwhelmed. The fear of being wrong, perfectionism, and ego. One of the most subtle yet powerful barriers to critical thinking is the fear of being wrong. This fear often stems from perfectionism or a fragile ego that equates mistakes with failure. When you're overly focused on preserving your image or avoiding embarrassment, you become resistant to feedback, reluctant to take risks, and unwilling to admit when you've made an error. The truth is, no one is infallible. Mistakes are an inevitable part of learning and growth. Critical thinkers embrace this reality, seeing errors not as failures, but as opportunities to refine their understanding. Here's how to cultivate a healthier relationship with being wrong. 1. Detach your ego. Remember that being wrong doesn't diminish your worth. It's a natural part of the learning process. 2. Seek feedback, invite constructive criticism, and use it as a tool for growth. 3. Celebrate progress. Focus on improvement rather than perfection. Acknowledge the effort you've put into learning, even if the results aren't flawless. By letting go of the fear of being wrong, you free yourself to think more openly, take bold steps, and grow as a critical thinker. Navigating barriers with resilience and awareness. Overcoming the barriers to critical thinking is not a one-time effort, but an ongoing process. Each time you encounter a cognitive bias, emotional reaction, or social pressure, you have an opportunity to strengthen your critical thinking muscles. The key is to approach these challenges with resilience, self-awareness, and a commitment to growth. As you reflect on this chapter, consider the barriers that resonate most with your own experiences. Do you find yourself influenced by biases or overwhelmed by information? Are emotions or social dynamics clouding your judgment? Awareness of these patterns is the first step toward overcoming them. In the next chapter, we'll delve into the core skills of critical thinking, equipping you with practical tools to analyze information, evaluate arguments, and make better decisions. Together, we'll continue building a foundation for clear, confident, and impactful thinking. Chapter 4: The Art of Analyzing Information. As we move deeper into the practice of critical thinking, one skill becomes absolutely indispensable: the ability to analyze information. In today's world, where we are bombarded with data, opinions, and narratives from countless sources, understanding how to sift through this information to uncover the truth is more vital than ever. This chapter is about learning to evaluate information objectively, recognize its strengths and weaknesses, and transform raw data into meaningful insights. Why information analysis matters. Imagine you're planning a road trip and rely on a map for guidance. If the map is outdated or inaccurate, it could lead you down the wrong path, wasting time and resources. Similarly, the information you rely on to make decisions in life is your map for navigating the world. If that information is flawed, biased, or incomplete, the consequences can range from minor inconveniences to life-altering mistakes. Critical thinking requires that we not only gather information, but also evaluate its validity and relevance. This means questioning where the information comes from, why it was created, and whether it aligns with reality. Analyzing information is not about doubting everything you encounter, but about approaching it with a healthy skepticism that seeks clarity and truth. The process of information analysis. To analyze information effectively, you need a structured approach. Here are the key steps. 1. Identify the source. Start by examining where the information comes from. Is it from a reputable organization, an expert in the field, or an anonymous social media account? Trustworthy sources often have a track record of accuracy, transparency, and accountability. However, even reliable sources can have biases. Consider the purpose behind the information. Is it meant to inform, persuade, entertain, or sell something? Understanding the intent helps you assess its credibility. 2. Evaluate evidence. Good information is supported by evidence. Look for data, statistics, case studies, or expert opinions that back up the claims being made. Be wary of vague statements or sweeping generalizations that lack concrete support. For example, if an article claims that 90% of people prefer product X, ask, where did this data come from? Was the sample size large enough? Was the survey conducted impartially? These questions help you determine whether the evidence is reliable. 3. Check for bias. Bias is present in almost all information, whether intentional or unintentional. Recognizing bias doesn't mean dismissing the information outright, but it does mean considering how the bias might shape the message. Bias can appear in many forms. Personal bias, the author's personal beliefs or experiences, may influence their perspective. Cultural bias, assumptions based on cultural norms or values, can color the way information is presented. Confirmation bias. Information may be framed to support a specific agenda or conclusion. Ask yourself, is this information balanced, or does it disproportionately favor one side of an argument? 4th, assess logical consistency. Analyze the reasoning behind the claims. Does the information follow a logical progression, or are there gaps and inconsistencies? Watch out for logical fallacies, errors in reasoning that weaken an argument. Common fallacies include ad hominem, attacking the person rather than their argument; straw man argument, misrepresenting an opposing viewpoint to make it easier to refute; false cause, assuming that correlation implies causation. For example, if someone claims that students who use laptops score higher on tests, so laptops cause academic success, they may be ignoring other factors such as study habits or access to resources. Determine relevance. Even accurate information can be irrelevant if it doesn't apply to your specific situation or question. Focus on information that directly addresses your needs or goals. 6. Synthesize insights. Finally, bring all the pieces together. Compare and contrast different sources, identify patterns, and draw conclusions based on a holistic view of the information. This step transforms isolated facts into meaningful insights that can guide your decisions. Common pitfalls in information analysis. Even the most diligent thinkers can fall into traps when analyzing information. Here are some common pitfalls to avoid. 1. Cherry-picking evidence. This occurs when you focus only on information that supports your preconceived beliefs while ignoring contradictory evidence. To avoid this, seek out diverse perspectives and challenge your own assumptions. 2. Overloading on information. Trying to analyze too much information at once can lead to paralysis or confusion. Prioritize quality over quantity and focus on the most relevant and credible sources. 3. Relying on authority alone. While experts can provide valuable insights, no one is infallible. Don't accept information blindly just because it comes from an authoritative source. Instead, evaluate it critically. Practical tools for analyzing information. To enhance your ability to analyze information, consider using these practical tools. 1. The CRAP test. Originally developed for academic research, the CRAP test evaluates information based on currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. This framework can be applied to any source to assess its reliability. 2. Fact-checking websites. Websites like Snopes, factcheck.org, and PolitiFact specialize in verifying the accuracy of claims. Use them to cross-check questionable information. 3. Mind mapping. A mind map is a visual tool that helps you organize and connect ideas. It's especially useful for synthesizing insights from multiple sources. The 5 W and H, ask who, what, when, where, why, and how about the information you're analyzing. This simple framework ensures you cover all the essential aspects. The transformative impact of information analysis. Mastering the art of analyzing information is a game changer. It empowers you to make informed decisions, solve complex problems, and engage in meaningful discussions. It also shields you from manipulation, whether in advertising, politics, or interpersonal relationships. Take a moment to reflect on how you currently process information. Do you take things at face value, or do you dig deeper to uncover the truth? Are you aware of the biases in the information you consume and how they might influence your perspective? By committing to the principles and practices outlined in this chapter, you're equipping yourself with a critical skill that will serve you for a lifetime. Information analysis is not just about understanding the world. It's about shaping your place in it with clarity, confidence, and purpose. In the next chapter, we'll build on this foundation by exploring logical reasoning, the cornerstone of sound arguments and effective problem solving. Stay tuned as we continue this journey toward critical thinking mastery. Chapter 5. The Power of Logical Reasoning. In the pursuit of critical thinking mastery, logical reasoning serves as your compass, guiding you through complex problems and competing ideas with clarity and precision. Where information analysis helps you evaluate the validity of your inputs, logical reasoning enables you to build strong arguments, identify flawed ones, and draw conclusions rooted in sound principles. This chapter is dedicated to understanding the mechanics of reasoning, from the foundational elements of logic to the practical application of argument construction and analysis. What is logical reasoning? At its core, logical reasoning is the process of using structured thinking to draw conclusions based on evidence. It allows you to move from raw information to reasoned judgments by connecting ideas in a coherent and systematic way. Think of it as the framework that holds your critical thinking together, a tool set that ensures your conclusions are not only valid, but also defensible. Logical reasoning is divided into two primary forms. Deductive reasoning starts with a general principle and applies it to specific cases. For example, if all humans are mortal and you are human, then you must be mortal. Deduction guarantees the conclusion if the premises are true. Inductive reasoning draws general conclusions based on specific observations. For instance, if you observe that the sun has risen every day of your life, you might conclude it will rise tomorrow. Induction involves probability rather than certainty. Both forms of reasoning are essential in critical thinking, each serving unique purposes depending on the situation. The building blocks of reasoning. To engage in logical reasoning, it's important to understand its fundamental components. 1. Premises. Premises are the foundational statements or facts that support an argument. For example, in the statement, "All birds have feathers. A sparrow is a bird, therefore, a sparrow has feathers." The first two sentences are premises that lead to the conclusion. 2. Conclusions. A conclusion is the logical outcome derived from the premises. It should follow naturally and inevitably in deductive reasoning or be highly probable in inductive reasoning. 3. Arguments. An argument is a set of premises and a conclusion working together to make a case. A strong argument is both valid, its structure ensures the conclusion logically follows, and sound, its premises are true. 4th, assumptions. Assumptions are unstated premises that underpin an argument. Identifying these is crucial because hidden assumptions can weaken or invalidate an argument if they are false. 5. Logical relationships. Logical reasoning relies on the relationships between ideas. These relationships might be causal, A causes B, comparative, A is greater than B, or conditional, if A then B. Recognizing these connections helps you trace the flow of an argument. Common logical fallacies. Even the most well-intentioned thinkers can fall prey to logical fallacies, errors in reasoning that undermine an argument's validity. Being able to spot these fallacies is a critical skill in evaluating arguments. Here are some of the most common ones. 1. Strawman fallacy. Misrepresenting someone's argument to make it easier to attack. For instance, if someone argues for reducing car usage to combat climate change, responding with, "So you want to ban all cars and destroy the economy?" misrepresents their position. 2. Ad hominem. Attacking the person making the argument rather than the argument itself. For example, dismissing an idea because the person proposing it has made mistakes in the past is an ad hominem fallacy. 3rd, slippery slope. Arguing that one action will inevitably lead to a series of negative consequences without evidence to support this chain of events. 4. False dilemma. Presenting only two options when more exist. For example, "You're either with us or against us," ignores the possibility of neutral or alternative positions. 5. Hasty generalization. Drawing a conclusion based on insufficient evidence. For instance, meeting one rude person from a city and concluding that everyone from that city is rude is a hasty generalization. By recognizing these and other fallacies, you can avoid faulty reasoning in your own arguments and effectively challenge weak arguments from others. Steps to construct logical arguments. Building a strong argument requires a deliberate and methodical approach. Here's a step-by-step guide. 1. Define your purpose. Before constructing an argument, clarify what you're trying to achieve. Are you persuading someone, explaining a concept, or solving a problem? Your purpose will shape the structure and tone of your argument. 2. Gather evidence, collect relevant and reliable information to support your premises. This could include data, research findings, expert opinions, or real-world examples. Ensure your evidence is credible and directly related to your conclusion. 3. Structure your argument. Organize your premises in a logical sequence that leads to your conclusion. Each premise should build upon the previous one, creating a clear and cohesive flow. 4. Anticipate counter-arguments. Consider potential objections or alternative viewpoints. Addressing these proactively strengthens your argument and demonstrates your openness to critical scrutiny. Use clear and precise language. Ambiguity can weaken an argument by leaving room for misinterpretation. Be specific in your wording and avoid overly complex language that might obscure your point. 6. Test your logic. Before presenting your argument, evaluate its validity and soundness. Are your premises true? Does your conclusion logically follow? Seeking feedback from others can help identify any weaknesses. Practical applications of logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is not just an academic exercise. It's a practical skill with real-world applications. Here are a few examples. Decision-making. Whether you're choosing a career path, making a major purchase, or resolving a personal conflict, logical reasoning helps you weigh options and make informed choices. Problem-solving. In professional and personal contexts, logical reasoning enables you to break down complex problems, identify root causes, and develop effective solutions. Persuasion. From writing persuasive essays to negotiating in business, logical reasoning allows you to construct compelling arguments that influence others. Media analysis. Logical reasoning equips you to critically evaluate news, advertisements, and social media content, distinguishing credible information from misinformation. Developing logical reasoning skills. Like any skill, logical reasoning improves with practice. Here are some strategies to help you hone your abilities. 1. Engage in debates. Debating with others forces you to construct arguments, anticipate counter-arguments, and think on your feet. 2. Solve logic puzzles. Activities like Sudoku, riddles, or logic games challenge your brain to think critically and recognize patterns. 3. Study philosophy and logic. Exploring formal logic and philosophical reasoning can deepen your understanding of argumentation and critical analysis. 4. Reflect on your thinking. After making decisions or forming opinions, take time to reflect on your reasoning process. Were your conclusions logical and well supported? What could you improve? 5. Seek constructive feedback. Share your arguments with trusted peers or mentors who can provide constructive feedback on your reasoning. The transformative impact of logic. When you master logical reasoning, you gain the ability to navigate complexity with confidence. You become a more effective problem solver, communicator, and decision maker. Most importantly, you develop the resilience to question assumptions, challenge norms, and pursue truth in a world that often values simplicity over depth. As we close this chapter, reflect on the role logical reasoning plays in your life. How often do you rely on it to make decisions or solve problems? Where might you improve? In the next chapter, we'll delve into creative thinking, a skill that complements logical reasoning by unlocking new perspectives and innovative solutions. Together, these tools will empower you to approach any challenge with balance and ingenuity. Stay tuned. Chapter 6. The Magic of Creative Thinking. When people think of critical thinking, they often picture a rigid, analytical process focused solely on dissecting ideas. But in truth, critical thinking thrives when combined with its more imaginative counterpart, creative thinking. Where logic brings order and clarity, creativity introduces innovation and possibility. Together, they create a dynamic duo capable of solving problems, generating breakthroughs, and inspiring new ways of seeing the world. This chapter dives deep into creative thinking, what it is, why it matters, and how you can harness its transformative power in your journey toward critical thinking mastery. What is creative thinking? Creative thinking is the ability to generate ideas, solutions, or approaches that are novel, valuable, and applicable. It's not limited to artists, writers, or musicians. It's a skill that everyone can develop and apply in everyday life. At its core, creative thinking challenges conventional patterns. It asks, what if? And why not? It explores beyond the boundaries of established norms, seeking connections between seemingly unrelated concepts. While logical reasoning ensures that your ideas are sound, creative thinking ensures they are original and adaptive. Why creative thinking matters. In a rapidly changing world, creative thinking is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. Consider how industries are being transformed by technological advancements, shifting social dynamics, and environmental challenges. Relying solely on tried and true methods is no longer enough. Innovation is key to staying relevant and solving complex problems. Creative thinking also fosters resilience. When faced with obstacles, a creative mindset helps you see opportunities where others see dead ends. It empowers you to pivot, adapt, and thrive in uncertainty. Principles of creative thinking. To cultivate creative thinking, it's important to understand its underlying principles. 1. Embrace curiosity. Creativity begins with curiosity, a desire to explore, question, and learn. When you approach the world with curiosity, you open yourself to new ideas and perspectives. 2. Suspend judgment. Creativity flourishes in an environment free of judgment. This means allowing yourself to brainstorm freely without worrying about whether an idea is good or bad. Critique can come later. In the initial stages, focus on exploration. 3. Seek divergence. Divergent thinking is the ability to generate multiple solutions to a problem. It contrasts with convergent thinking, which seeks a single correct answer. By exploring diverse possibilities, you increase your chances of finding innovative solutions. 4. Connect the unconnected. Some of the most groundbreaking ideas emerge from connecting unrelated concepts. For example, the invention of the smartphone combined telecommunications, computing, and touchscreen technology. 5. Embrace failure as feedback. Creativity involves risk, and not every idea will succeed. Instead of fearing failure, view it as an opportunity to learn and refine your approach. How to develop creative thinking. Creative thinking is like a muscle. It strengthens with practice. Here are some strategies to help you develop your creative potential. 1. Expand your horizons. Expose yourself to new experiences, cultures, and disciplines. The more diverse your knowledge base, the more connections you can make. For example, reading books outside your field, traveling to unfamiliar places, or learning a new skill can all spark fresh ideas. 2. Practice brainstorming. Dedicate time to brainstorming sessions where you generate as many ideas as possible without filtering them. Use techniques like mind mapping, word association, or the 6 thinking hats method to stimulate creativity. 3. Adopt a beginner's mindset. Approach problems as if you're encountering them for the first time. Let go of preconceived notions and ask fundamental questions. Why is this done this way? Or, what happens if we try something different? 4. Take breaks and rest. Creativity often strikes when your mind is relaxed. Allow yourself downtime to daydream, meditate, or engage in activities that bring you joy. This mental space can lead to unexpected insights. 5. Collaborate with others. Creativity is amplified in collaborative environments where diverse perspectives come together. Engage with people who challenge your thinking and inspire you to see things differently. 6. Use constraints to spark innovation. Paradoxically, limitations can fuel creativity by forcing you to think outside the box. For instance, setting a time limit or budget constraint can lead to inventive solutions. Creative thinking in action. To illustrate the power of creative thinking, let's look at some real-world examples. Problem solving in business. When Netflix transitioned from a DVD rental service to a streaming platform, it revolutionized the entertainment industry. This creative pivot not only solved logistical challenges, but also positioned the company as a global leader. Scientific breakthroughs. The discovery of penicillin by Alexander Fleming is a classic example of creative thinking. Fleming noticed a mold-killing bacteria in his lab and had the curiosity to investigate further, leading to the development of life-saving antibiotics. Everyday innovation. Creativity isn't limited to grand inventions. It's also about small, everyday improvements. For instance, rearranging your workspace to boost productivity or finding a faster route to work are examples of practical creativity. Overcoming creative blocks. Even the most creative thinkers encounter mental blocks. Here's how to overcome them. 1. Change your environment. A change of scenery can stimulate fresh ideas. Step away from your usual workspace, take a walk, or work in a different setting. 2. Shift your perspective. Look at the problem from another angle. Ask yourself, how would a child, artist, or scientist approach this? Adopting different perspectives can unlock new insights. 3. Set small goals. Large, vague goals can feel overwhelming and stifle creativity. Break them into smaller, manageable tasks to build momentum. 4. Use random stimulation. Introduce random elements to spark creativity. Flip through a magazine, pick a random word, or watch a video on an unrelated topic. These stimuli can trigger unexpected associations. 5. Revisit your why. Remind yourself of the purpose behind your creative endeavor. Connecting with your passion can reignite your motivation. Integrating creativity and critical thinking. While creative and critical thinking are distinct, they are most powerful when used together. Creativity generates ideas and critical thinking evaluates and refines them. This interplay ensures that your solutions are both innovative and practical. For example, consider the process of designing a new product. Creative phase, brainstorm. Bold, unconventional ideas without limits. Critical phase, evaluate the feasibility, cost, and potential impact of each idea, refining them into actionable plans. By alternating between these modes of thinking, you can achieve a balance of imagination and logic that leads to exceptional outcomes. The transformative power of creativity. Creative thinking is more than a skill. It's a mindset that transforms the way you approach life. It empowers you to see possibilities where others see problems, to adapt in the face of change, and to innovate in ways that inspire others. As you reflect on this chapter, think about the role creativity plays in your life. How often do you challenge conventional wisdom? When was the last time you allowed yourself to brainstorm freely or pursue a seemingly wild idea? In the next chapter, we'll explore how to integrate the principles of both logic and creativity into decision-making strategies, empowering you to navigate complexity with confidence and clarity. Stay tuned for more actionable insights as we continue this journey of critical thinking mastery. Chapter 7. Decision-making mastery. Every day, whether consciously or unconsciously, we make thousands of decisions. From the mundane, choosing what to eat for breakfast, to the profound, deciding on a career path or a major life change. Our choices shape the trajectory of our lives, Yet, many of us struggle with decision-making. We second-guess ourselves, feel paralyzed by options, or regret choices made under pressure. In this chapter, we will explore decision-making as both an art and a science. By integrating the logical rigor of critical thinking and the innovative spark of creativity, you'll learn to navigate choices with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Whether the stakes are high or low, you'll have the tools to approach decisions with the poise of a master. Why decision-making matters. The ability to make sound decisions is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. It affects every aspect of your life. Personal growth. The decisions you make about how to spend your time, what goals to pursue, and whom to surround yourself with define who you become. Professional success. Career advancement often hinges on your ability to make strategic, well-reasoned choices that align with long-term objectives. Relationships. Decisions about how to communicate, resolve conflicts, and invest in relationships determine their depth and quality. The good news is that decision-making is not just an innate talent, it's a skill you can cultivate. The science of decision-making. Decision-making involves two primary cognitive processes. 1. Rational thinking. This is the deliberate analytical process of weighing options, evaluating evidence, and choosing the most logical path. It engages the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning and reasoning. 2. Intuitive thinking. Intuition relies on pattern recognition and past experience. It's faster and more automatic than rational thinking, but can be less reliable in unfamiliar situations. Effective decision-making often requires balancing these two modes of thinking. Knowing when to trust your gut and when to rely on analysis is a hallmark of a skilled decision-maker. The decision-making process. Let's break down the decision-making process into a series of actionable steps. Each step builds on the critical and creative thinking principles we've explored so far. 1. Define the decision. The first step is to clearly articulate what decision you need to make. Be specific about the problem or opportunity at hand. Ambiguity at this stage can lead to confusion and wasted effort. For example, instead of saying, "I need a new job," clarify, "I want a job that aligns with my skills, offers growth opportunities, and allows for work-life balance." 2. Gather information. Collect relevant data, opinions, and insights to inform your choice. This includes identifying your priorities, understanding the context, and exploring potential outcomes. However, beware of information overload. Focus on gathering high-quality, relevant data rather than trying to know everything. 3. Identify alternatives. Generate a range of possible options. Use creative thinking techniques, such as brainstorming or mind mapping, to expand your list of choices. The goal is to explore possibilities without prematurely dismissing any ideas. 4. Weigh the options. Evaluate each alternative using logical reasoning. Consider factors like feasibility. Can this option realistically be implemented? Risks. What are the potential downsides or unintended consequences? Benefits. How well does this option align with your goals and values? Tools like pros and cons lists, decision matrices, and cost-benefit analyses can help structure your evaluation. 5. Make the decision. After weighing your options, commit to a choice. Avoid overthinking or seeking the perfect decision. Most decisions involve trade-offs, and perfection is rare. If you're struggling to decide, consider setting a deadline or consulting a trusted advisor to gain perspective. 6. Take action. A decision without action is meaningless. Develop a clear plan for implementing your choice, including specific steps, timelines, and resources needed. 7. Reflect and learn. After the decision is made, take time to reflect on the outcome. What went well? What could you improve next time? This reflection helps you refine your decision-making skills for the future. The role of emotions in decision-making. Emotions are often seen as obstacles to rational decision-making, but they can also be valuable guides. For example, positive emotions. Excitement and enthusiasm can signal alignment with your values and passions. Negative emotions. Anxiety or unease may indicate risks or conflicts that need to be addressed. The key is to acknowledge your emotions without letting them dominate your choices. Use them as data points to inform, not dictate, your decisions. Common decision-making pitfalls. Even with a strong framework, it's easy to fall into traps that hinder effective decision-making. Here are some common pitfalls and how to avoid them. 1. Analysis paralysis. Overanalyzing options can lead to indecision. To combat this, set limits on the time or information you'll dedicate to the decision. 2. Confirmation bias. This occurs when you seek out information that supports your pre-existing beliefs while ignoring contradictory evidence. Stay open-minded and actively seek diverse perspectives. 3. Sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy involves sticking with a decision because of past investments, even when it's no longer the best choice. Remember, what's done is done. Focus on what will bring the best future outcome. 4. Overconfidence. Assuming you have all the answers can lead to poor decisions. Stay humble and seek input from others when needed. Decision-making under pressure. High-pressure situations can make decision-making particularly challenging. When time is limited or emotions run high, use these strategies. 1. Pause and breathe. A few deep breaths can help calm your nervous system and bring clarity. Even in urgent situations, a moment of composure can make a difference. 2. Focus on priorities. Identify the most critical factors to consider. Simplifying the decision to its core elements can prevent overwhelm. 3. Trust your training. In high-stakes scenarios, you may need to rely on intuition built from experience. If you've developed strong habits of critical and creative thinking, trust yourself to make a sound judgment. Integrating critical and creative thinking into decisions. Imagine you're tasked with developing a strategy for a struggling business. Critical thinking. Analyze financial data, customer feedback, and market trends to identify the root causes of the problem. Creative thinking. Brainstorm innovative solutions, such as introducing new products, pivoting to a different audience, or implementing unique marketing campaigns. By combining these approaches, you can craft a strategy that is both grounded in reality and open to new possibilities. The transformative power of wise choices. When you master decision-making, you gain the confidence to navigate life's complexities with grace. You become a proactive architect of your future rather than a passive participant in it. As you move forward, remember that every decision, big or small, is an opportunity to learn, grow, and align your actions with your highest aspirations. Reflect on the choices you've made today. Were they deliberate and thoughtful? How might you approach similar decisions differently in the future? In the next chapter, we'll explore the importance of evaluating outcomes and adapting, a critical step in ensuring that your decisions remain effective and aligned with your evolving goals. Stay tuned as we continue this journey toward mastering your mindset and transforming your life. Chapter 8. Evaluating Outcomes and Adapting. In any journey, whether personal or professional, the decisions you make are only part of the equation. Just as important is how you evaluate the results of those decisions and adapt your approach when necessary. This chapter focuses on the process of reflection and adaptation, two critical components that ensure you continue evolving and improving, both in terms of your decision-making and your overall personal growth. Why evaluation and adaptation matter. The ability to evaluate your decisions and adapt based on those evaluations is what sets successful individuals apart from others. It is not enough to simply make decisions and move on. Life constantly throws new challenges, opportunities, and circumstances your way. The decisions you made in the past, though well-intended at the time, may need to be adjusted as you grow and as situations change. Without evaluation, it's easy to fall into the trap of repeating the same mistakes or sticking to outdated approaches. Without adaptation, you risk being left behind in a world that moves quickly, filled with new insights, innovations, and opportunities for change. So, why is evaluation and adaptation so critical? Here's why. 1. Informed growth. Reflecting on past decisions allows you to learn from experience. This is how personal and professional growth occurs, by looking at the outcomes of your choices and understanding what worked, what didn't, and why. 2. Resilience. Life is unpredictable. Having a mindset geared toward evaluation and adaptation helps you remain flexible and resilient in the face of change. It prepares you to handle setbacks with a problem-solving mindset. 3. Continuous improvement. If you're constantly evaluating and adjusting, you're consistently improving. The best athletes, entrepreneurs, and creatives don't rest on their laurels. They assess their progress and tweak their approaches, always striving for more. In this chapter, we will explore the tools and strategies you can use to evaluate outcomes effectively and adjust your actions to stay aligned with your goals. The evaluation process. Evaluation is an essential part of learning from experience. But how do you evaluate the outcomes of your decisions in a way that's insightful and constructive? The key is to develop a structured approach to evaluation. Here's a framework you can follow. 1. Set clear expectations. Before you even make a decision, you should have a clear idea of what you expect to happen. These expectations act as a benchmark against which you will evaluate the actual outcomes. The more specific and measurable your expectations, the easier it will be to assess how well things went. For example, if you set a goal to increase your income by 20% in the next 6 months, you now have a concrete target to evaluate. 2. Track the outcome. Once you've made the decision and implemented your plan, it's time to track the results. Use data, feedback, and your own observations to monitor the outcome. Sometimes this is an immediate process, but other times it may take weeks or months to see the results of a decision. Keep an open mind and note both the positive and negative aspects. 3. Ask reflective questions. After you've tracked the results, step back and ask yourself key reflective questions. These questions should help you assess the outcome in a comprehensive way. Did the outcome meet my expectations? If not, how did it differ? What factors contributed to the outcome? What could I have done differently? What lessons can I take away from this experience? By reflecting on your decisions, you not only assess the immediate results, but also gain insights into your decision-making process. This self-awareness is crucial for future improvement. 4. Seek external feedback. In addition to your own reflections, it's helpful to gather feedback from others. Sometimes, we are too close to a situation to see it clearly. Other people, whether mentors, colleagues, or friends, can provide valuable perspectives on the outcome and offer suggestions for improvement. 5. Identify patterns. As you assess multiple decisions over time, look for patterns in both successes and failures. Are there certain factors that consistently lead to positive outcomes? Do you notice recurring mistakes that might need to be addressed? Identifying these patterns will help you refine your decision-making strategy over time. How to adapt based on evaluations. Once you've evaluated the outcome of your decision, the next step is adaptation, making changes based on what you've learned. Adaptation is about being flexible and open to change, and it involves modifying your actions, mindset, or strategy to better align with your goals. Here are some ways to adapt effectively. 1. Adjust your approach. If a particular method or strategy didn't work as planned, consider adjusting your approach. For example, if you were following a set plan to achieve a career goal but didn't see the results you wanted, consider whether your actions were misaligned with the goal. Maybe you need to develop new skills, seek more feedback, or shift your strategy entirely. 2. Revisit your goals. Sometimes, the outcome of a decision reveals that your initial goals may not be the right ones, or that they need to be refined. Use the insights you've gained from evaluating your decisions to revisit and adjust your goals. Perhaps the goal itself was unrealistic, or maybe it no longer aligns with your long-term vision. 3. Incorporate new insights. The process of evaluating and adapting is a two-way street. As you reflect on past decisions, you'll discover new ideas, insights, and possibilities. Adaptation often involves incorporating these new learnings into your thinking and decision-making moving forward. Don't be afraid to update your mindset and strategies to reflect these fresh perspectives. 4. Experiment with new ideas. Sometimes, the best way to adapt is through experimentation. If the path you've been following isn't yielding the results you desire, try new approaches. Small, incremental changes can lead to surprising breakthroughs. 5. Maintain a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that you can develop your abilities through effort and learning. When you approach evaluations and adaptations with a growth mindset, you view setbacks as opportunities to improve, rather than as personal failures. This mindset empowers you to continuously adapt and evolve, learning from both successes and failures. Dealing with setbacks. Adaptation is especially important when you encounter setbacks. Setbacks are a natural part of life and are inevitable, even for the most successful individuals. What matters most is how you respond to them. Rather than seeing setbacks as roadblocks, view them as opportunities to reassess, learn, and grow. Here are some steps to navigate setbacks with resilience. 1. Acknowledge the setback. The first step in overcoming a setback is to acknowledge it without judgment. This can be difficult, especially when emotions are involved, but it's important to face the situation with honesty. 2. Analyze what went wrong. After acknowledging the setback, take the time to reflect on what went wrong. Did you make a poor decision, or was the setback caused by factors outside of your control? Understanding the root cause of the setback is essential for adapting effectively. 3. Identify possible solutions. Once you understand what caused the setback, brainstorm potential solutions. Consider what changes you could make to avoid similar setbacks in the future. Sometimes the solution involves making adjustments to your approach. Other times, it may require seeking help from others or trying an entirely new direction. 4. Stay committed to your long-term vision. Setbacks are often temporary, and they shouldn't derail you from your long-term goals. Stay focused on your broader vision and use the lessons from the setback to strengthen your resolve. The ongoing cycle of evaluation and adaptation. As you continue along your personal growth journey, evaluation and adaptation will remain central to your success. They create a continuous loop of learning, adjusting, and growing. Just as you would maintain a fitness routine to build strength and endurance, so too should you maintain a reflective practice that sharpens your decision-making and adaptability. The beauty of this process is that it never truly ends. As you evolve, so too will your methods of evaluation and adaptation. You'll become more adept at identifying opportunities for improvement and refining your decision-making approach, ultimately leading you to greater mastery of critical thinking and personal growth. In the next chapter, we'll dive into resilience and mental toughness, two vital qualities that will help you maintain your focus and stay motivated through the ups and downs of this continuous journey of growth. Stay tuned as we continue to explore how to enhance your thinking, decision-making, and personal mastery. I understand your request for an engaging, audiobook-like experience with long continuous paragraphs for each part, and I'm happy to continue. However, because of the platform's limitations, I'll provide a detailed continuation in structured sections while still maintaining the style you're asking for. I'll aim to create a conversational, engaging tone that keeps the content useful, insightful, and motivating. Let's continue with Part 9 in the same format, where we delve into resilience and mental toughness, two powerful qualities that significantly enhance personal growth. We'll explore these concepts in depth, keeping the language flowing in a way that's natural and engaging, much like an audiobook would be. Chapter 9. Resilience and Mental Toughness. Resilience and mental toughness are two of the most vital attributes that you can cultivate to ensure sustained success, particularly in the face of adversity. They are the qualities that allow you to recover from setbacks, keep moving forward, and stay motivated even when the road ahead is difficult or unclear. Much like physical strength, both resilience and mental toughness can be developed with the right mindset and approach. In this part, we will explore these qualities in detail, understanding how they influence personal growth, how you can build them, and how to maintain them through life's inevitable ups and downs. What is resilience? Resilience, at its core, is the ability to bounce back from challenges. It's about being able to recover quickly from difficult situations, whether that's an emotional setback, a professional failure, or any personal crisis. It's not about avoiding hardship, but about responding to adversity in a way that helps you grow rather than break. Think of resilience as your emotional and mental elasticity. Just as rubber bands stretch and return to their original shape, resilient people can stretch emotionally through stress, grief, or hardship, and then snap back with strength and clarity. Resilience is essential because without it, setbacks can feel insurmountable and challenges can knock you off course permanently. The key to resilience isn't necessarily avoiding hardships, but developing the ability to navigate them successfully. This involves keeping a positive, growth-oriented mindset, even in the toughest times. Resilient individuals tend to see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than obstacles to avoid. They are able to maintain perspective and look for lessons in every failure. What is mental toughness? While resilience focuses on recovering from challenges, mental toughness is the ability to endure, remain focused, and push through adversity. It's not about avoiding stress or discomfort. It's about confronting and managing them effectively. Mental toughness allows you to stay calm, composed, and focused under pressure. Mental toughness is often associated with athletes, particularly those in high-performance sports, but it applies to everyone, regardless of their field. It's the difference between quitting when things get hard and pushing through to achieve the goal. It's the ability to face challenges head-on, take setbacks in stride, and keep pressing forward toward your objectives. Together, resilience and mental toughness provide the foundation for success. Resilience helps you recover from setbacks, while mental toughness keeps you going when the going gets tough. Together, they enable you to face life's challenges with unwavering confidence and determination. Building resilience. Key strategies. Now that we understand the importance of resilience, the question becomes, how do we build it? Building resilience is a process, and it begins with adopting certain strategies and habits that help you navigate difficult circumstances with grace. Here are some practical ways to develop resilience in your life. 1. Change your mindset. Your mindset has the power to influence how you react to stress and adversity. A fixed mindset, which believes that your abilities and traits are static, can prevent you from seeing failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. On the other hand, a growth mindset sees challenges as opportunities to stretch your abilities. By embracing a growth mindset, you can reframe difficult situations and focus on what you can learn from them rather than what you've lost. 2. Develop emotional regulation. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel pain, frustration, or sadness during tough times. It means you know how to manage those emotions in a healthy way. Emotional regulation involves being able to acknowledge your feelings without letting them overwhelm you. You can practice emotional regulation through mindfulness techniques, such as breathing exercises, journaling, or simply pausing before reacting in stressful situations. 3. Build a strong support network. Resilience is often bolstered by the relationships and support systems around you. When you face adversity, having people to lean on, whether friends, family, or colleagues, can provide you with the encouragement, advice, and perspective needed to bounce back. Building strong relationships based on mutual trust and support will give you the emotional resources to draw upon when things get tough. 4. Learn from setbacks. Setbacks are inevitable, but the way you respond to them is what defines your resilience. Instead of letting failure define you, use it as an opportunity to learn. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What could I do differently next time? How can I turn this failure into a stepping stone for success? Reflecting on setbacks allows you to adjust your strategy and come back stronger the next time. 5. Practice self-care. Building resilience isn't just about mental and emotional fortitude. It also involves taking care of your physical and mental well-being. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, adequate sleep, and relaxation techniques all contribute to building the physical and emotional strength needed to withstand adversity. When your body is in good shape, your mind is better equipped to handle stress. Building mental toughness. Key strategies. Just as resilience can be developed, mental toughness can also be cultivated. Mental toughness allows you to stay committed to your goals even when faced with significant obstacles. Here are a few strategies to help build your mental toughness. 1. Set clear, challenging goals. Mental toughness thrives when you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve and are willing to put in the effort to make it happen. Setting goals that push you out of your comfort zone helps you develop the grit and persistence required to keep going, even when progress seems slow or difficult. However, it's important to ensure that these goals are both challenging and attainable. Unrealistic goals can lead to burnout and frustration, while goals that are too easy won't stretch your mental fortitude. Find that sweet spot where you feel challenged, but also capable of achieving your goal. 2. Visualize success. One powerful tool for building mental toughness is visualization. This technique involves imagining yourself successfully completing your goal, overcoming obstacles, and achieving the outcome you desire. Visualization helps prime your brain for success, build confidence, and maintain focus, especially during challenging moments. Practice visualization regularly. See yourself succeeding in both the short and long term, and imagine how it feels to overcome adversity along the way. The more vividly you can visualize your success, the more real it will become. 3. Embrace discomfort. Mental toughness is built through experiences that push you outside of your comfort zone. Seek out challenges that force you to grow, whether it's taking on a difficult project at work, pushing yourself physically through exercise, or stepping up in situations that require leadership. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, you build mental toughness. This doesn't mean constantly seeking hardship or struggle, but it does mean being willing to face difficult situations when they arise and pushing through them. As you do, your confidence will grow, and you'll become more capable of handling whatever life throws at you. 4. Cultivate discipline. Discipline is a cornerstone of mental toughness. It's the ability to stay focused on your long-term goals, even when distractions arise or motivation wanes. Cultivate discipline by setting small, manageable goals that contribute to your larger vision and by following through on your commitments, even when you don't feel like it. Building discipline requires consistency and routine. Start small by committing to daily habits that reinforce your goals. Whether it's waking up early, dedicating time to reading or learning, or completing a task despite feeling tired or distracted, each act of discipline will increase your mental toughness. 5. Focus on the present moment. Mental toughness often requires you to stay focused on the present, not on past mistakes or future worries. When you're in the middle of a challenge, it's easy to get caught up in negative thoughts about what might go wrong. But focusing on the present moment helps you maintain clarity, calm, and focus. Techniques like mindfulness meditation, deep breathing, or simple grounding exercises can help you stay present and focused when faced with adversity. The power of resilience and mental toughness combined. When resilience and mental toughness work in tandem, they create a powerful force for personal growth and achievement. Resilience allows you to bounce back from failure, while mental toughness pushes you to keep going, even when the going gets tough. Together, they help you weather the storms of life with strength and determination. As you build both resilience and mental toughness, you'll become more confident in your ability to handle whatever challenges come your way. Instead of shrinking from difficulty, you'll embrace it, knowing that it's not only something you can endure, but something that will make you stronger. In the next chapter, we'll explore the role of self-awareness in personal growth, another essential ingredient in your journey toward mastering your mindset and transforming your life. Stay tuned for more insights on how to continue developing the mental and emotional tools that will support your ultimate success. I appreciate your patience and understand that you're looking for a detailed, immersive audiobook experience that continues seamlessly. While it's difficult to achieve 9,000 characters in one go here, I'll continue in long, fluid paragraphs that keep the flow and depth intact. This approach ensures the content remains engaging and informative, aligning with your vision. Let's move forward with the next part of the content, keeping the structure consistent. Chapter 10. The role of self-awareness in personal growth. Self-awareness is one of the most powerful tools you have in your personal growth arsenal. It's the foundation upon which you can build all other aspects of your life, from emotional intelligence to goal setting and critical thinking. Self-awareness doesn't simply mean understanding your likes or dislikes. It's a deeper understanding of your motivations, beliefs, behaviors, and emotions. This insight allows you to recognize patterns in your actions and reactions, helping you make better choices and align your actions with your true values. Developing self-awareness is not a one-time exercise. It's an ongoing process that requires time, reflection, and dedication. Just as a skilled athlete practices regularly to improve their performance, you must continually reflect on your thoughts, behaviors, and emotions to sharpen your awareness and evolve as a person. When you are self-aware, you can observe yourself objectively without judgment, which empowers you to make informed decisions and navigate life's challenges with clarity. Self-awareness leads to understanding not only how you act, but also why you act the way you do. It allows you to recognize your strengths, address your weaknesses, and make intentional changes that align with the person you want to become. The more self-aware you are, the more empowered you'll feel in your day-to-day life. When you can understand your internal drivers, your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, you gain greater control over your external world, enhancing both your personal growth and your relationships. But why exactly is self-awareness so crucial for personal development? Let's break it down into its key benefits. 1. Enhances emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, EI, refers to the ability to recognize and manage your emotions, as well as the emotions of others. Self-awareness is the first and most fundamental component of EI. Without self-awareness, It's impossible to understand your emotional triggers or how your emotions impact your behavior and decisions. For instance, if you don't recognize when you're feeling stressed or anxious, you might make decisions out of impulse rather than logic. Alternatively, if you aren't aware of how your emotions affect your interactions with others, you may unintentionally harm relationships or miss out on opportunities to connect more deeply with those around you. When you cultivate self-awareness, you become more attuned to your emotions in real time. This allows you to pause before reacting, choose your response more wisely, and engage with others in a more empathetic and thoughtful manner. As you improve your emotional intelligence, you become better at managing conflict, navigating complex social dynamics, and leading others effectively. Key skills for personal and professional success. 2. Facilitates better decision-making. Decision-making is an inevitable part of life. Whether you're choosing a career path, making a financial investment, or deciding how to respond to a difficult situation, the choices you make shape your life. Being self-aware makes you a more informed decision-maker. When you understand your values, priorities, and internal biases, you can make choices that are in alignment with your authentic self. For example, if you know that family time is a priority for you, you might choose a career path or work-life balance that allows you to spend more time with loved ones. On the other hand, if you're unaware of your own values, you might make decisions based on external pressures or societal expectations, leading to frustration and dissatisfaction. Self-awareness helps you cut through the noise of external influences and tap into your true desires and motivations. The more clearly you can identify what truly matters to you, the more confident and aligned you'll feel in your decision-making process. Moreover, when you are self-aware, you are better able to identify and challenge any unconscious biases you may hold. This allows you to make more objective, fair, and balanced decisions, which leads to more positive outcomes in all areas of your life. 3. Strengthens relationships. Self-awareness plays a pivotal role in the quality of your relationships. Whether in personal or professional settings, understanding yourself and your reactions makes it easier to empathize with others, communicate effectively, and avoid misunderstandings. For example, let's say you tend to get defensive when receiving feedback. If you're not self-aware of this reaction, you may unintentionally shut down conversations, create tension, or damage relationships. However, once you recognize this tendency and its impact, you can actively work on modifying your response. You can start to pause, listen openly, and approach feedback as an opportunity for growth. Being self-aware also helps you understand the needs and emotions of those around you. It allows you to listen with greater empathy and respond with greater understanding, creating stronger bonds and fostering trust. As a result, your relationships become more authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling. Whether you're improving a relationship with a friend, partner, family member, or colleague, being self-aware helps you develop deeper connections and navigate conflict more effectively. You become better equipped to understand not only your own emotions, but also the perspectives of others, which leads to more constructive and positive interactions. 4. Promotes accountability and personal growth. Self-awareness helps you take responsibility for your actions, which is key to personal growth. It allows you to objectively assess your behavior and recognize areas for improvement. Rather than blaming others or external circumstances for your struggles, self-awareness encourages you to look inward and identify how your choices and actions have contributed to the situation. For example, if you're feeling stuck in your career, self-awareness can help you identify any limiting beliefs or habits that might be holding you back. Maybe you have a fear of failure that's preventing you from taking risks, or perhaps you're not proactively seeking out growth opportunities. By identifying these patterns, you can take concrete steps to change them and move forward. Taking accountability for your actions creates a feedback loop for personal development. Each time you recognize an area for improvement and take steps to address it, you grow and evolve, With a greater sense of accountability, you take ownership of your journey, which fosters self-empowerment and continuous growth. 5. Increases self-confidence. Self-awareness directly impacts your level of self-confidence. When you have a clear understanding of who you are, what you stand for, and what you can achieve, you are more likely to trust yourself and your abilities. Think about it. When you are unsure of yourself or uncertain about your decisions, it's difficult to move forward with conviction. However, when you know what you value, what you're capable of, and where you want to go, you can make decisions with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. Self-awareness helps you recognize your strengths and leverage them in a way that empowers you to tackle challenges and pursue goals with assurance. It also allows you to acknowledge your weaknesses and work on improving them, which further boosts your confidence. When you're self-aware, you stop second-guessing yourself or seeking validation from others. You become your own best advocate, and as a result, you exude a quiet confidence that others will notice and respect. How to cultivate self-awareness. Building self-awareness is a continuous journey, and there are several practices you can implement to deepen your understanding of yourself. Here are a few practical steps you can take. 1. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment without judgment. It allows you to observe your thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations without becoming overwhelmed by them. Regular mindfulness practice helps you become more attuned to your inner experiences, which enhances self-awareness. 2. Engage in self-reflection. Set aside time regularly to reflect on your thoughts, actions, and emotions. Journaling is an excellent tool for this practice, as it helps you process your experiences and gain insights into your behavior. Ask yourself questions like, what did I learn today? How did I react to challenges? What could I have done differently? 3. Seek feedback from others. Sometimes our blind spots are difficult to see on our own. Seeking honest feedback from trusted friends, family members, or colleagues can provide you with valuable insights into your behavior and actions. Be open to receiving constructive criticism and use it as a tool for self-improvement. 4. Engage in new experiences. Trying new things and stepping outside of your comfort zone helps you learn more about yourself. It allows you to observe how you respond to different situations, challenges, and environments. These experiences give you valuable information about your strengths and areas for growth. 5. Be honest with yourself. The key to self-awareness is being willing to face the truth about yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. Honesty allows you to make authentic changes and embrace personal growth. Self-awareness is the bedrock upon which all other aspects of personal growth are built. It empowers you to make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and foster continuous improvement.